To talk to you tonight about how technology is outpacing evolution. And I started thinking about this topic when I was playing video games. Now, video games are featuring ever increasing levels of realism. In fact, you can almost do anything in a video game you can do in real life. And so I was wondering how this is affecting me and how this is affecting other people. And, your body reacts to a lot of different forms of stimulus. In fact, one of the ways that your body reacts to stimuli is the sun. For instance, if you wear sunglasses, you're much more likely to get a sunburn, and that does seems counterintuitive because that's really only affecting your eyes. Well, I was wondering, if video games might do the same thing. For instance, when I am running in a video game, does my body think I'm running? Does it make me hungrier as a result, even though I haven't gotten any of the exercise or burned any of the calories? And, that made me wonder what other things could I research that might give me an insight to this. So one of the things that has been around for a long time, there's been a fair amount of research on, is artificial sugars. Now, artificial sugars work because they are pretty similarly structured to actual sugar. So our body can perceive them as tasting like sugar, but our body can't actually digest them. It can't get energy from this. And it's kind of like how CDs and DVDs look similar, but you can't play a DVD in a CD player.
These are the chemical structures of the three most common artificial sweeteners: saccharin, aspartame, and sucralose. Underneath the artificial sweeteners, we have the structure of normal sugar, which is known as sucrose, and is broken down into glucose and fructose before it is used and absorbed by the body. The ring that forms the left side of sucrose here becomes glucose, and the right side becomes fructose. Here you can also see how similar sucrose and sucralose are. In sucralose, 3 of the oxygen-hydrogen groups are replaced with chlorine atoms, highlighted here in red. Sucralose is made by chlorinating actual sugar, rendering your body mostly unable to digest it. Saccharin was first discovered in 1878 when Konstantin Fallberg accidentally tasted a chemical he had created while trying to find a use for coal tar. Saccharin is 300 times sweeter than sugar and is commonly sold as sweet and low. The phrase saccharin sweet, meaning someone who is nice to the point of being fake, while perhaps less common today, is a reference to this artificial sweetener. Aspartame was discovered in 1965 when James M. Schlatter accidentally tasted a chemical he was working on. It's about 200 times as sweet as sugar and is commonly known as NutraSweet. Aspartame is also the sweetener most commonly used in the United States to sweeten diet sodas. Discovered in 1976, but not approved by the FDA until 1998, sucralose was found when Shashkanit Fadnes misunderstood a supervisor and tasted a chemical he was working on. Sucralose is 600 times sweeter than sugar, is derived from sugar, and is heat tolerant. This allows it to replace sugar in things like baked goods, where other sweeteners would not work. On this slide, I intended to show pictures of all of the researchers responsible for these discoveries, but I couldn't find any. My guess is that chemists whose most notable discoveries come from poor lab technique aren't too keen on having their pictures taken. The fact that all artificial sugars were discovered by accidentally tasting lab chemicals is a bit concerning when you think about it, though.
So the idea behind these sugars is that our body can't digest them. So, you can drink as much diet soda as you want without gaining any weight. But since 2007, our researchers have found that the same taste buds that are in our mouth are also in our gut. And I don't know about you, but I can't taste things with my stomach. And so that makes you wonder, what are these taste buds doing? Well, it turns out that these taste buds are being used by your body to send out a signal to the pancreas that says, look, there's sugar in our body. We need to digest this. And then the pancreas releases insulin, which helps us break down the sugar into energy. Well, in the case of artificial sugars, our body sends out that message, and then it produces insulin, and there's no sugar there. And after a while, our body stops sending out that, hey, I've got sugar here signal. And this can lead to type 2 diabetes, where our body stops sending out the signal, and so you end up insulin resistant, and your body just doesn't process sugar anymore. And so, And it's easy to see why. So here I have 7 sodas, and most of them are 24-ounce sodas, and so that's of drinking a little less than a liter of soda a day, which doesn't seem uncommon, especially for people who drink diet soda because they aren't thinking about the calories. But our body's expecting almost a pound of sugar a week that it isn't getting, and I can understand why people would be concerned about that. For instance, that's 1,500 calories. That's almost a pound of fat. A pound of sugar becomes almost a pound of fat. That's a little bit more than a pound because there's a little bit more than a pound of sugar and sweetness in these drinks. But that's 2 whole meals a week. And as you can see here, we've got a lot of food. We have, everything from carrots. We've got pasta. We've got chicken. We've got avocados. We've got, some strawberries for a snack. And it seems like it would be great. You could have all of this and you could have pop too without, doubling the amount of calories. But your body just doesn't work that way. Your body says, listen, I'm missing some food here. So it's probably best not to drink Diet Pepsi. That doesn't mean that nobody should drink Diet Coke. For instance, my friend Hannah, if she wanted to drink a pop, I preferred if she drank a Diet Pop. And the reason why is Hannah has type 1 diabetes, and that means her body doesn't produce any insulin at all. So if she drinks Diet Pop, it doesn't affect her blood sugar, and that means that she has an easier time controlling it, which is better for her health. And, the lesson here is twofold. The first part is that, if it seems too good to be true, especially with technology, it probably is. Our body is a really complex system, and you can't just expect to mess with one system and not have it, screw up any of the other systems. There are some cases where it might be true, but you really have to be wary of something that claims to do that. The second is that there are good ways to trick your body. Something even as useless as video games, which originally brought on my concern, can have positive benefits. There's been developments in the medical and the economics world just from video games alone. But that's an altogether different video. So for right